It's the Filthy and Meaner Show! Except we haven't got Davey. Titles.
Should I get the magic sponge? That's a keeper. Try that again. Oh man. Nutty. And that's a wrap.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen. How the devil are you? Well, unfortunately, it's the title again. It's all gone to chaos already. Sorry about that. As you'll see, it's just me. Unfortunately, Davey's had a power cut and various other things have happened, so we can't be with us tonight. But magic that is VTTV. We've got new people. Well, not new people. They've been around for a while. First off, we've got Sav and we've got Gary. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hello. And so, yeah. So we've actually managed to cobble something together out of the mountain that Davey has made. Davey, when I see you again, I'm going to kick you square in the Rochambeau. Saying. Right. What have we got for you tonight? Well, during the week, we received a letter from Cloud9 referring back to labels. We're going to have a little discussion about, I forget his name, Professor Hayek. And at the end, we're going to go over some charity stuff that Gary, myself, and Davey are doing. Right, shall we get straight down to the nitty-gritty? Labelling. I know I've already covered this before. We had a really a very educational letter from my point of view from Cloud9, and it was addressed to our own cat, but it's obviously shared with us. And it goes a little something like, just wanted to let you know, I saw Davey and Andi discussing e-liquid bottles and labels, and Davey indicated at one point that there were no regulations, and they seemed to think it was something we can all decide amongst ourselves. This obviously isn't the case, and there are mandated elements that must be present, and indeed it is a criminal offence not to comply with CHIP or CLP on products. So I might want to point them in the direction of certain resources. And it goes on. It's becoming a massive problem as more and more companies import US-made e-liquids. We shall get to that. And I've lost my place. Without going to any effort to get them properly labelled, and juices have started coming up in the EU-wide RAPEX alerting system in various EU countries, and it's really not good for those manufacturers, their vendors, and our market as a whole. Of course, this is CLP, which isn't mandatory until June of next year, but CHIP is mandatory now and has very similar provisions, albeit different pictograms and warnings. Excuse me. However, it makes no sense to go to a load of effort to comply with CHIP when it's all being changed to comply with CLP very shortly. Anyway, just thought passing that information on would be useful. I've been going on this about now for 5 years, and with people trying to tell me to shut up about it for nearly all of that time, I really hope guys discussing this on VTTV is a sign now that people are really starting to agree with what I've been on and on about all this time, and yes, we do agree. Guys.
It's something, it's the basics of the basics, really, isn't it, though? If you're not getting, I know personally, if I'm buying a juice, if I don't say everything on the label, I don't trust the juice. And it could be the best quality juice out there. But if the basics aren't there, I'm less likely to buy it. Completely has to be up to the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Gary?
It does. I think for me, I'll tell you, there's a couple of things that really annoy me with liquid bottles. One is that I call runny label, which is, like I say, I like to read the ingredients and try and decipher the bottle itself. But get a little bit of juice down it, the print runs and all that sort of stuff, and you can't read it in a couple of weeks' time. That drives me potty. And we were talking earlier about the chip compliant stickers. And to me, they should be fixed, and a fixed sticker should stay there, not one that peels off. And they always drive me potty. They're one of the things that drive me absolutely bonkers on a bottle of liquid is the sticker flapping when I get it, because first thing I do is peel it off right away. So it might as well not be there, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, Gary. I mean, as you said, we discussed this pre-show, and I brought a couple of examples with me. Now, it's funny you mentioned labels running. This bottle here is my favourite juice at the moment, and as you can see, that's virtually indecipherable. However, funnily enough, the tactile triangle has managed to stay stuck on. Don't even know if you guys can see that, but
Yeah.
anyway, has actually managed to stay on. So I'm impressed with that. Now, with regards to labels falling off, and I've highlighted this in pen, that's a good idea, is it not?
Yeah.
Having the tactile triangle as a part of the packaging. That's not going to slip off. It's going to alert you to, it's there. Obviously, it's relabeled for my own personal use, but on the label of the original manufacturer, which is a UK manufacturer, it's got the relevant chip compliancy. Let's get to American bottles. This is an American bottle of juice. I'm sorry for showing the label. There are other American juices available. There's absolutely no on that, except for the name, and actually took me a week to find the strength, which was hidden right up there in the corner.
Wow.
Right, I didn't even know that was there until the other day.
Yeah.
6 milligram, my preferred strength. But all it says on there is Mastermind, Elixirs, Misfit. Oh, there is a warning on it. It says following. Warning, contains nicotine and is not intended for sale to minors. Naughty.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze in chat has just said, if it's not toxic, it shouldn't say it is, in his opinion. And I totally get where he's coming from with that. And yeah, we know we've had all these tests coming out about liquid being no more toxic than washing up liquid and things like that. But we do have to follow currently CHIP, but very soon CLP guidelines. They're there. We have to follow them. It's irrelevant whether you agree with it or not. That is the case as it stands for the minute, and we have to follow that.
Indeed. Cutting back to the American juices, excuse me, not all of them are bad. Now, I have friends in the business who import American juices, and this one has all the relevant warnings. There was a tactile triangle on it, but due to Gary's pet hate and mine, it fell off. But it's in a tamper-proof cap. All the relevant labels on it. It's even got that old favourite of mine from California. Contains a chemical known to cause cancer or something like that. To the state of California. It's there on the warnings.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a bit too small for you to read. And of course, this is an American juice. Now, the guy in question is very, very hot on labelling, and he will not sell it if it doesn't have that labelling, which I think is highly commendable.
Yeah, and we can't blame the American juice sellers for this. If you're going to be selling it in the UK, then you have to comply with the UK rules. The American juice vendor's not the one selling it. You are. So you have to comply.
I'm presuming it's enough to get hold of tactile labelling.
I would think so. I mean, it's not something I've ever looked into, really, but people must be doing it. It must be easy enough to get. Yeah, it's not going to be cheap, or it's not going to be the cheapest. It's going to be cheaper to sell it as it comes. But them's is the rules, I'm afraid.
And as much as we'd like to break them, I mean,
The
I
only ones that'll
agree.
suffer for it is us.
Sort of fundamentally, I agree with Blaze.
Mm.
Does that toxic symbol really need to be there? But, as you say, rules is rules. And if we are to be allowed to self-regulate, as we do already, if we play ball in the right areas, it's going to make it a hell of a lot easier in the future.
Exactly, because until we can say nicotine has been reclassified as XYZ, we currently have to play with what we've got.
And I think that's one of the things that the vaping thing as a whole has done very, very, very well. It's almost, well, it's been going since sort of 2009, self-regulating in a way, hasn't it? And it's only, you know, in recent years that it's hit that plateau where there has to be involvement from other people, because it's gone way past that, you know, that level, hasn't it? And I think in some aspects that vaping is far ahead of where it should be in terms of, if you look at other things that come out on the market that you know can cause serious death and harm and all that sort of stuff. It's got to a point by itself very quickly, as opposed to other things.
Yeah, as an industry.
Sorry, Sav.
No, I was just about to say, as an industry, I think we've done really well looking after our own backyard, so to speak, and trying our best to keep everything in check. Because we're getting that much more mainstream now, it's just a case of making sure everything's as it should be.
Yes. I mean, I believe it was said possibly best last year at some point. Tipping point.
Yeah.
We're fast approaching it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Whip It Up in chat has asked for clarification on the cancer-causing chemical and what it's supposed to be in the state of California.
I had a discussion with this with Mr. Decivaper actually on Sunday afternoon. That warning is practically on everything in California, to my knowledge. May not be exactly true. For example, I'm really big into radio control vehicles of bottle making. And I had what is essentially a magnet brought from California, a company from California, and that magnet also contained chemicals known to cause cancer in the state of California.
Right.
As far as I'm aware, and perhaps my American friends or American viewers can tell us otherwise, it is literally nanny state gone a bit crazy. You know, this is fun, it's going to kill you sort of thing. It's over the top labelling.
Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong there. I wanted to just say that again. I could be wrong, but it was on what was essentially a motor.
Yeah, someone, Stewpot, has just said in chat, he used to buy emulsion made in America and it had to be labelled with the same warning. So, yeah.
It just seems to me like an over-the-top sort of, this could be fun thing, you know. I'm fairly certain it's on alcohol in California. It's on literally everything.
Fair enough.
One of those.
I remember getting my first mobile phone that was sort of about the size of one of my speakers now, and not long after they come out, apparently my head was going to explode. But you know that was, I was 19 at the time. I'm now 40 something. And it still hasn't. I mean, it's gone a little bit fuzzy, but I think that's old age rather than the mobiles. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah. Not a lot I can say to that, Gary.
No, it's true.
I should imagine mobile phones have probably got that in California as well. Warning, using your mobile phone will give you brain cancer and you will die because you're talking to your friends.
I'm surprised babies aren't slapped with a sticker when they're born.
I'll tell you what they should be.
I know.
Saying nothing, the wife is downstairs. And Norma's very good not interrupting, but she will interrupt me for saying anything about that and slap me around the log hole.
Which is probably fair.
Don't you get involved, Sav?
I'm just... No, I won't.
Have you been colluding?
No! Maybe.
Sure. Oh, Beth. Paris. Right. Oh, there's a comment. Have you read that one out?
I haven't, no.
I shall then. Maxstrom, agreed, GD. But trading standards are now trying to skin lows by imposing hoop after hoop for them to jump through. Stealth tax?
Well, yeah. It was always going to happen, though, wasn't it?
I said it for as long as I can remember. Just hit us with a bloody tax and get it over and done with.
Yeah, and then at least we know what we're facing. Instead of changing tack all the time, it's this, oh no, it's not, it's this, oh no, it's not, it's this. Just make your mind up and do it.
Just slap us with a tax, like they do the fags. And I think, on the whole, as long as we're still allowed to vape, we're good. As long as it don't get too expensive as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously with tax, that could jump rather.
It could, and I mean, hopefully we're not going to get hammered with a big high tax, but something is going to happen. We all know something is going to happen. It's just a matter of what. And for a lot of people who, when you come in and you're quite new, it's like, ooh. But for when you've been sort of listening and watching all this going on for such a long time, it's like, oh, just get on with it, will you? It's getting ridiculous now.
It is. I mean, obviously I've not been in the game as long as you guys have, but it is the one thing. I think it's actually prematurely greyed my hair, all this worry about these things. You know, one minute we get great news, and the next minute we get horrible news, and it's up and down like my bloody yo-yos.
I remember sitting talking to Kat about this when we were watching the European vote, and when things went in our favour, and there were so many people that were so excited, and we sat there going, that's not going to last.
Yeah.
And there's cynicism, and it's like, I really don't like being cynical, but you just know that you win one fight, and they're going to come at you from another angle, and hence we get bubble gum and God knows what else gets thrown at us.
Yeah, I think that I'd describe vaping to my wife as probably like all the stuff that's going on as probably one of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden.
Well,
Yeah.
not far wrong there, are you?
Yeah, it is. It's very much the case. Where you think, okay, we've had a week of good, and you get this a lot with the media. You'll get 2 or 3 good news e-cigs stories, and then you go, right, okay, next week, you know the headline in the Daily Mail will be like, e-cigs caused Third World War or whatever. E-cigs are blamed for space incidents, and you just know it's coming. And I say, okay, well, this was nice that we had a good story, but let's get ready for the bad story that's about to come.
And I guarantee you, those editorial people will be like, yeah, it's all about the balance. We've got to show the balance.
Yeah.
I'm so half tempted to ring up the Daily Mail. In fact, I've discussed it with
Daily Mail!
Daily Mail! It's getting in here! I have honestly discussed this with Davey as well. And we really feel like going up to them as a duo, as we do, and go, hey, Sig saved my life! They're great!
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. It's all about the balance. Not when it's about fact. Fact is fact is fact is fact. Whether it's balanced or not, it's fact. And you can't just go, oh, well, this is the fact, but we'll have to tell you something that we made up just to balance it.
Well, I was
No.
going to come in there, you know. It's one thing saying that this is fact, and then, frankly, in a lot of them that I've seen, total fabrication of anything to do with these things. That's not fact. That's outright lying.
Yeah, and that's not balance. You don't need to. If you have to lie to balance your argument, then you seriously need to examine your argument.
Yes. I think what they do is they run out on the street and go, let me grab the nearest numpty I can find, drag them in the studio and go, e-cigs, what do you reckon? And they go, they're bad for you.
I've had people come in and ask about starter kits, and with the fact you've got to screw 2 bits into 2 bits and screw a little bit off to fill it up with juice. Oh, that's too much hassle, I'm going to go back to the fags.
Yeah.
Right, let's stick a pin in that one. Chip compliancy, good. Everybody do it.
Good.
Good.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Is we back? I think we's back. Innit?
You're back.
Bam! Right. Onwards and upwards. Professor Hayek. Shall we just go straight in with the first VT, please?
We will.
Regarding e-cigarettes, that's a relatively new development, and our current studies are looking at toxins, content, how much nicotine people get from them, how quickly they get it, the behavior of e-cigarette users, and so on. There is a remarkable controversy around electronic cigarettes, and I think future textbooks will be writing about it. There's going to be books about this controversy. Some people see them as a huge potential for benefiting public health, and other people are trying vigorously to get rid of them. The reason for it is that it's a disruptive technology. It's a bit like when digital cameras came about, and they killed film cameras industry and lots of related industries. And e-cigarettes have a potential to do something similar. It threatens not just sales of cigarettes, but it already massively undermines sales of stop-smoking medications, which is a big business, and also threatens lots of established positions in tobacco control. And so there's a lot of people out there who are vigorously trying to get rid of them.
First thing I'm going to
That's
drag out.
part one.
Yeah, a lot of very interesting comments there. Disruptive technology is my favourite because I like disruptive things because I might be a little bit mental. But the tobacco control people comment, that was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Because these are people who want to control or abolish smoking. Just saying, guys, could really, really help you.
Yeah, I mean, What can you say about that?
Well, we got 20 minutes with it anyway, so, but yeah, well, it's got to be
Well,
quite
what about
long.
we go on to the next one and see what we think after that?
Before you do, I just have to pass on the comments from chat, and they're all pretty much the same, and they go something along the lines of leg end.
He
Yeah.
is, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I liked him. I'd like to have him round for tea.
I also love the disruptive technology because it is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so disruptive that people just don't know what to do with it, and that's the main thing. All of a sudden, it seems that it's all of a sudden that this has happened now, but it's not. It's been going for a long time.
It's been a slow cooker, hasn't it?
Yeah, and disruptive technology is disruptive now, but it wasn't disruptive in 2008, 2009 because, as you were saying earlier, the tax and all of that sort of stuff. It's disruptive now because it's disrupting a revenue stream. That's why it's disruptive.
Big revenue stream.
Yeah.
Bloody huge one, both tobacco and pharma. They must have all of a sudden one day just gone, have you heard about these e-cigarette things? Yes, they're costing us a lot of money. What?
Yeah.
E-cigarette!
And that's the disruptive element of it.
Yeah, you can just imagine the conversation in 2009. Oh, look, I've seen one of these. It's an e-cigarette. Don't worry about that. Nothing for us to worry about. It's a load of rubbish. Bet that person's getting fired about now.
He was probably their accountant.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Very, very disruptive. And, well, from this vapor's opinion, that can only be a good thing because it is going to, if anything comes of this, it should give a really, really good shake-up of the current establishment, right? A lot of what they're doing to control tobacco use seems to be failing.
Mm-hmm.
People are still smoking. My partner is still smoking. It drives me nuts, but I can't force my will on her, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah.
But through literal, as I said earlier, a slow cooker effect, these early origins in 2009, fast forwarding now to 2014, all of a sudden we're bloody everywhere. It's just like we've come to the boil and bam, pots exploded.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Monster Rob's just said in chat, tobacco control people don't want to lose their jobs. They never thought it would happen.
But why don't they adapt properly? None of this violence or anything like that. Adapt properly and join and stimulate the market rather than what I've been calling from the start an illegal hostile takeover.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a it's time warp tactics, isn't it? It's the way that I look at the way that all the things like this thing come into being. It's they're trying to reverse the technology and make it look like they've invented it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to say what came into my mind just then.
Can I just pip in? I know I'm supposed to be doing the Wirecast thing and making a mess of it, but I just want to point one thing out that has really been settled in my mind today. I had to go to a meeting today with cat protection, and I took my e-cig with me, and the meeting was held in a restaurant, and there were people eating all around all the time, constantly. And I thought, no, I'm not taking the e-cig out. So I didn't. I knew full well I could go outside if I wanted to, and I wouldn't bother anybody. So it was a conscious decision not to bother anybody with the smell of an e-cig. And 4 hours later, I hadn't even given it a thought. Would that have happened if I was still smoking cigarettes?
No.
I don't think it would. You know, all the stuff we've had to listen to about the addiction qualities of nicotine. I'm not saying that it isn't mildly addictive. It probably is. But I fear that the stuff that's inside cigarettes that enhances that experience makes it much more addictive is the problem. And nobody ever looks at that, do they?
No, it's something I mention to new starters all the time. All the other chemicals in a regular cigarette and tobacco are synergesic with nicotine. It makes the habit worse. You have won the internet.
It's just a big thing with me that I feel cigarettes controlled me. Right? Now I control them.
Yes.
You know? Or you can use the word nicotine, substitute that. Nicotine no longer controls me, I control it. But I don't believe at all that it's as addictive as everybody has said it is.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. Shall we roll?
Roll the next one?
Yeah, on that happy note.
Yeah.
Potentially they are revolutionary. They pose very small or maybe no health risks. They do not attract new users to nicotine so far. And they have a potential to help smokers to switch to something safe from something tremendously dangerous. And so if on a population scales, smokers switched from conventional cigarettes to e-cigarettes, there will be an enormous public health benefit. What is the purpose of what we are doing? We are trying to help regulators and politicians to put their policies on a sort of rational basis, to provide evidence which would guide such regulations. At the moment, it's really driven by vested interests and unsupported worries about lots of things which are really, they shouldn't worry about.
Well, that was good.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I want to speak on that one.
It lives!
Go on then.
My God.
Yeah, I was biding my time, but that one, the things that I picked up as well, that guy, how on the ball is this guy? Here is a guy that didn't mention the quit word. He mentioned the switch word. You know, how often and how many times have we tried to get that out there? You know, of people who have got a choice to go from ordinary conventional tobacco onto something which is going to be way, way better, and didn't mention the quit word. That was the number one thing that, like, stuck to me. And the second thing it stuck as well, and pardon if you heard it groan in there, that wasn't me, by the way, it was the dog, and it picks up very, very well on the mic, in case anybody wants to know. But the second thing that I wanted to point out as well was the fact that he mentioned about what they're trying to do is, you know, is not have the likes of these idiots who have a vested interest in it to have the overall say, and it should be suggested on statistics of what's actually working. You know, and that guy, just, I sat there and went, oh my God, this guy is just so on the ball, it's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, considering, I mean, Professor Hayek has been involved in, he was one of the driving forces behind the smoking ban.
Mm-hmm.
He was very anti-smoking, but he's a lot to do with NRT. He did have a lot to do with NRT, but he sees it and he sees exactly the benefits of it, and he totally gets it. Totally gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Then doesn't that make him the prime example of the kind of embracing should be going on of e-cig technology, as opposed to the outright damnation of e-cig technology?
Yeah, it certainly does. He looks at the evidence, he lets the evidence speak for itself. Doesn't make any judgments, he lets the evidence talk.
I think once this all starts, it's almost that we're in a position now where it's almost like we're on a snowball. The more people that sort of pick up on the positives, it's almost like, whereas, you know, if you took it back 2 years, you had this negative snowball that was rolling. You now seem to have, the more and more stuff I see recently is a lot of people picking up on the positives, and that snowball seems to be gathering momentum. Now, I know what we were saying earlier about that, you know, there's always, you know, there's always that one git. Sorry, I said git. There's always that one. No, I won't use that one either. There's always the one person
Well done.
who wants to be on your bonfire. Do you know what I mean? And you will get that, but I'm seeing it a lot more. And a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at recently on the TV, and I'm not looking for it, seems to be a lot more positive. And I think that momentum has started, and it needs gentle shoving down the hill, I think.
Totally agree.
Will we go over to the last one?
I think we should.
To say, when e-cigarettes came about, initially, like everybody else, I thought it doesn't look too good. It's just another attempt to keep people smoking when smoking rates have been declining for years, although not very quickly, but they were. And so the first reaction is sort of understandably negative. It looks like a cigarette, people still are getting nicotine. I think the key point is that nicotine itself is harmless, which is something most people do not appreciate. Nicotine itself is probably on par with drinking coffee in terms of health risks. It's the chemicals in smoke which kill people. And here you don't have it. And once you start to think about it and look through the fact, and you realize the potential of the device, you change your opinion. So the opinions should change with evidence rather than staying rigid, whatever comes, and saying this is evil and we have to get rid of it.
I mean, what can you say to that? I mean, I want to marry Professor Hayek now.
I can say exactly one thing. A shiver went down my spine when I heard that last bit. Nicotine itself is harmless as much as drinking a cup of coffee. And we've heard Mr. Dawn say that how many times? We've all said it ourselves. I believe there's research saying that, it's a natural neurotransmitter in your own brain, so you're kind of born with it. I love that, man.
Yeah.
It's so nice to hear common sense being spoken, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't be this pleased about hearing someone speak common sense, but because it's so rare in this argument.
Superpower now. Reggie off Shenanigans says it all the time. It is the only real superpower now. Common sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's so rare in a field where you've got scientists and eminent professors and whatnot spouting utter drivel.
Bubblegum.
Wow.
About the effectiveness of things like patches that you put on your arm, which after a while of putting them on your arm in the same area, irritate your arm and make your arm swell, and then it becomes uncomfortable, and then you end up right back to square one, and supposedly that's good for you, is it? I don't think so.
I've always said the only way the patches would ever work on me is if I stuck them over my mouth.
I'm sure I've told you guys a story of the first time I tried patches to kick the smoking habit. I was probably about 24, which was about 40 years ago, and I was literally they said you could stick them anywhere. Now, no, I'm not. I wasn't going to be rude. I was alternating various parts of my body at the time, and I'd gone through this arm, I'd gone through this arm, and I started then on the tops of my legs. And I'm not going there, trust me.
Good job, because I'm getting really excited. No, carry on.
I did it on my right leg, and I had one on my left leg, and I think I then went. I don't know, but I was driving. I was going down the M4 on the motorway, and all of a sudden I had a massive spasm. See, I try to be serious. I do try to be serious every now and then.
I'm trying to find the link to the video on YouTube.
I had a massive spasm.
I'm listening. Carry on.
It went as anything, and my leg just it just froze. My leg froze, and literally I couldn't get it off the accelerator, and it literally, like, my leg spasmed, and I had to pitch it over, run out here. But I don't know. I was near death.
That was terrible, Gary.
I'm sorry. I went to the doctors, and end of the story for the patching. But I went to the doctors, and it was down to the patch. I had a reaction to the patch on my leg.
Gary, I wonder if you'd been arrested for speeding, if the judge would have accepted that story. It's very similar to the Betsy the cow one that I heard today.
If we're going to talk about adverse effects,
We better
take
put
the
adverts
series
on you.
Gary nearly dying to something that I think's horrifically serious. Hydrochloric acid in the Nicorette stuff. The spray.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Will we go to the ads, Andy?
Yes, I think we should, because we've run over.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Healthy Vape, the UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
RY4 Radio.
And we're back.
Fantastic. Just for those of you who haven't seen this particular YouTube video, I'm presuming it's free to watch. I want to drop it into the chat. Simply speaking, make it go viral. vapors is to make it go viral. Get this man everywhere. So I'll just go back now. And there you go, boys and girls.
Definitely.
It hasn't gone through. If you pass it to me, I'll pop it through.
Ah, right, okay. No, it hasn't, because it's me, innit? Yeah.
And while you do that, so Gary, what happened to your other leg in the meantime?
I don't know. I think it'd be good.
All I've got this image now is Gary like this.
It was pretty much like that. But it's a serious story. It was a very serious story, and that was my first adverse effect to nicotine. Never had one in my entire life, and that was it. So serious face.
I take it you never tried the patches again then?
Oh yeah. I'm not going to tell you where I put them next time.
I can imagine.
Out of interest, when I was doing the YouTube regularly, did any of you lot see my infomercial that I did on patches?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be shared because it's funny.
Yes.
No, you're not supposed to use them like that.
Well, I mean, that's about as much use, isn't it? I mean, yes, kudos to work for some people, and great, wonderful, but no.
The majority, no.
No. We all pretty much know that the patches are just something that's there to make you think that you have more willpower than you really have. And kudos.
But just think about it, though. If everybody knew, or should we say the males all knew Gary's story, they would never have needed Viagra.
I was going to say,
that's it. That's it.
Oh, no.
And that's all was.
Well, we were all thinking it, Andy, at the end of the day, so...
Yeah, and it's always down to me to see it.
Exactly.
It's always down to Gary to start it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guys,
Gary Dibley, the new protege for the middle-aged man, eh? Honestly.
Oh, God. Damn to my
Middle-aged.
imagination.
It's only 19.
That's true, but if he puts his glasses on, he looks about 21.
He does. It really ages you, Gary.
He does.
Well, I think you're quite handsome, so meh.
Oh,
I'll put them on.
go on.
Go on, go on.
Go on, Gary, do it.
It's in HD again. I can see.
Gary can see.
Yeah.
It makes you look all smart and everything.
I was going to say, I think you look very intelligent.
Yeah.
Intelligent.
Yeah.
Professor Dibley. You now need to say something profound, Gary.
What, as usual?
Children in need.
Yeah, children in need.
Yes, I can be serious now with the glasses on.
You can.
I might even do the professor look.
I'll even put you in shock, Gary. There you go.
No, don't do that. Yeah, what are we talking about?
Children in need.
Children in need. Come on, get these people
Yes, send them
up
patches.
to just giving.
Send them patches. Did you just say send them patches?
Selling patches. Oh dear.
No, I didn't. Right, yes, I'll take them off again. Don't like them. I can see better with them, but I don't like them. They're annoying. Yeah, we're obviously doing the children in need thing again, and it's not for me. Although, you know, the page is in my name as such because you can't have it in any other bugger's name. But then somebody else does it. We're doing it again. Last year we raised, I think, with the what do you call it, the reliefy thing, there was about $5,000-ish raised. This year it's been a little bit slow starting, and that is mainly down to me not having the time to push it as much. The name of the fund, and I have been contacted by the people who do the children in need thing for a story. And I'd like it to be a good one this year, if we could. But it's set up for vapors of the world for children in need. And the original concept back, I think it started about 4 years ago, was that vapers can have a common voice when it comes to donating to this fund. I know not everybody can, not everybody will, but the idea was that anybody who vapes could sell a mod, could flog some juice that they don't like, could do anything, and do that little bit for the fund. For me, I've never had much cash to give to the fund, but I've always found a way of doing it in terms of making something, donating it, like the mod that's here that we've been making in Vapor Scene. We'll be announcing something tomorrow night that one of the other team is going to be shaving various body parts if we reach a certain amount of money. But it's basically so everybody, anybody can donate. It doesn't have to be waiting for a raffle, although the raffle is the biggest draw because we all like prizes, which we have got coming again this year. So basically, it's just a bit of fun. Anybody can join in, like the main event, but the idea was always to have a common voice for vapers, to build the fund and show a bit of an impact. The idea was to have some impact, to probably, not give credibility to us, but to have an additional arsenal in our weapons, shall we say. So that's what we're looking to do. And it doesn't have to be waiting for me to do something. The idea always was that anybody can get involved, anybody can do their own event. You don't have to put it to the fund that I've set up. It could be, your own fund. I'm waffling, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yes.
More than less, yeah.
You get the picture. That was the idea originally. And I'd like to push that a bit this year if we can, because
it would be good to get a story out there. If they've contacted you for the story behind it, it would be really good if we could, as vapers, get a story out there.
Yeah. I think, personally, if he beats his target, we should stick a nicotine patch on his legs and see how long it takes to seize up.
See how fast he can drive.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'd love is to get some lessons off the Stig. Go down to the Top Gear studio, strap a couple of patches on, and have a go around the track.
That would be brilliant.
Renaming Gambon Dibley.
That would be awesome.
Right. Brilliant stuff. Children in need, as always. Dig deep, people. Remember, even if you just donate a price for a bottle of juice, it all helps. And talking of charity, myself and have been charitable folks as well. Now, Sav, you'll notice at the top of our personal chat.
Got it.
Yep. You'll see something called the mobro.co, the Fieri 79. You'll notice no beard. That is because I have been working with Movember in my own little way for about 3 years. This is my 3rd year now. And a lot of the guys in the industry here in Worcester are also joining in. The owner of the competition store in Worcester, as it were, he's joined in. Davey's joining in. I'm going for it. There's a couple of other guys that are helping out with me as well. Hopefully there will be a team page set up. And we'll get it all together and get all these things together. But this is for men's health as opposed to children in need. Now, a bit of a sob story, I'm afraid. My stepfather, probably one of the biggest male role models in my life. If I had an ounce of his just general person, I'll be a happy man. Unfortunately, had prostate cancer. And I myself am at a fairly high risk of testicular cancer. So if you can feel it in your hearts to help me through the month, and Davey as well, let's get some awareness, some money to male health charities. Let's make this Movember the best one me and Davey have ever had. Okay, guys? Now, I believe we have a video from you and Kat, Sav. I've got enough time to play it.
There is a fit.
Hello. Hello. Sorry for the big sigh, but it's really hard sitting on this bouncy bar chair. I feel like I'm surfing. Right, he's nagged for us to come back on screen. So we did. What do you want? What do you want? Well, I haven't really got a lot to talk about.
No. We're lost for words.
Totally, utterly speechless.
Hi.
So...
Hey.
Told
I
you.
fell off my stool. I nearly did a fury.
So we thought we'd have a cup of coffee, more tea, and Coke, because there's actually no coffee at all involved.
Tea.
Coke. And...
tea.
Ketchup. So, here we are. With tea.
But what we're gonna look at, we're gonna have to talk to them about something.
We can always talk about our beautiful Cloud9 vaping mugs. Should be on QVC.
We got them as Christmas presents.
We
There's
did.
probably loads of you did. From the lovely Lisa.
Well, you got one, and I stole
And she
it.
stole it, and I asked Lisa would she send me another one.
That's what she did.
So, it's a mug. Right, it's a mug. And it's got Cloud9 vaping on it.
And mine has as well. So...
And it's got a cup of tea in it.
Yeah, it's got a hole to put stuff in. And it seems to work quite well for doing that.
It's a China mug.
Is it?
Doesn't mean to say it came from China. If it hasn't got tech at the end, it's not from China.
No. It's from Cloud9 Vaping.
It's from Cloud9 Vaping.
So-
.co.uk.
Yeah. Because we have absolutely nothing new to talk about.
No. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
At all.
Mm-mm. Not a thing new to talk about at all.
Not
a
even.
thing.
Not a thing.
No.
No.
Not a thing. So I don't really know why we're doing videos, but not a thing. Not a thing to talk about.
So we're just going to talk about mugs.
Yeah. If you want us to look at your mugs, we have mugs, other mugs we could look at. There's glass mugs. There's lovely black China mugs just out of shot, which...
Somewhere.
Yeah. She doesn't like them, but I do.
Coffee mugs. China mugs. Mugs. Mugs.
I'm starting to get the feeling there's two very big mugs. For agreeing to do this in the first place. But you asked for us to appear back on screen, you may regret that by now, so there's not really much more we can say.
Basically, all we can say is there'll be more.
Your own fault.
You asked. We'll get back on the water.
Yeah, I'm back in the mug.
Catch you later.
Ta.
Ciao.
Oh, I want to see so much more of that. Chat, guys. What are you saying? Next week, drips and tips in the show with Cat and Sav review Aldi tea bags. Cheap, delicious, all rubbish.
See, that's Daz's job. Daz does, what does this beverage taste of?
I do actually.
Get him round, get him on the video. Now, we're definitely going to run over. But yes, chat, let's have a vote. More of Cat and Sav, yay or nay?
Nay.
Because I thoroughly enjoyed that video, and that's the third time I've watched it.
I'm sorry, I'm just so conscientious that Sam's phone's ringing in the background.
It is, I'm dancing away. Yeah.
I think it's sitting on the back of the sofa there. I tell him I finish at 10 o'clock, so he rings me at 10 minutes.
Well, on that note,
have we got time
say
to do
good
the
night
lineup?
Line up. Knees meet, knees meet, knees meet, knees meet.
Go for it, Sav.
Me, I don't know what's on.
What you said?
What's the radio on every night?
Radio,
RY4.
radio. There's people on the radio directly after here. Go to there because they're really, really, really good.
Shall I do the lineup?
Go on.
Right.
Go on, quickly.
After this show tonight on ry4radio.com, there will be Reggie, my good friend Reggie, doing his honky tonk thing. Tomorrow night, of course, there is Gary and Margot doing their thing here on VTTV. After that is Solid Rob Taylor with some good rocking tunes. ry4radio.com again. Wednesday is the show with no name with a bit of a twist this week. Eyes open, people. Got to tune in to find out. And after that is Wednesday, Nikki's Juicy Bits on ry4radio.com. Thursday, of course, the ubiquitous Top Pocket Keith and the one and only David Dawn with the Haze Hour. And some good music on that as well, actually. After that will be that funny Lady Boyfriend.
Oh, what's he called?
Yeah, he likes that song, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's him.
So,
Bobo.
playing your theme tune out on Thursday due to that. So gonna happen.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. I'll tune in and take the mick out of you. Eyes on, pal. Eyes on. Friday, of course, is the lock-in, unless I'm otherwise mistaken. Nothing from us, I'm afraid. Saturday night shenanigans with Mr. Decivapor, myself, and the rest of the gang on mrdecivapor.co.uk, followed by Gaz's Saturday set. Sunday, our ubiquitous David Kitson and his tackle box. 9 o'clock, as always, VTTV, hotly followed by myself and the Mega Johns on RY4 with the Sunday Smash Up. That brings us neatly back round to here, where it's me again. I'm getting bloody everywhere these days. And Reggie. Was there anything else we needed? Yes. Received a message from Mina. Bless his cotton socks. Fortunately, one of the reasons he couldn't be here tonight was, of course, the power cut, but also one of his daughters had a pretty bad accident. She's fine, so Sophie, we hope you get better.
Get well soon, Sophie.
Okay. You get better soon, and if your dad gives you any jit, it's like that. Yeah?
Send Andy round.
Okay.
She'll have to bend
Mina,
down.
shut up. What?
She would have to bend down.
Yeah. Yeah. Kick him in the show. Oh, no, she can't do that. But anyway.
On that note, say good night, guys.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night night.
Night night.